called anti-compassion, anti-tenderness, anti-softness, anti-cooperation. It's not a set of characteristics that's harsh and competitive and separate and walled off. That's a caricature. Not a real story. It's a caricature. It's a cartoon. And it works if you're, Fred Flintstone. But it doesn't work if you're trying to find the divine within yourself. Whether you're in a woman's body or a man's body. Whether you're looking to connect with divine feminine or divine masculine. Or just the divine beyond feminine and masculine. That infinite everything. It's not either or, but it's everything. It's eternal, it's infinite. It's all encompassing. So if you're a woman and you're looking to help a man in your life find that divine feminine, I would say one of the most important things is to help him understand that he has the permission to break free from the roles that he's been stuck by. For you as the woman in his life to hold space for an expanded sense of who he is. Don't put too much focus on it has to be the divine feminine and here's what it should look like. Because of course, the divine feminine in the form of Kali looks very different from the divine feminine in the form of Lakshmi or Saraswati. So there also isn't even one model that we can say, oh, this is what the divine feminine looks like. There's a whole spectrum. So rather than giving yet another box, yet another label, just hold space for him to break free from whatever boxes he's already in. This is actually one of the greatest gifts that we can give each other. Whether you are lovers in a romantic partnership, whether you are best friends, whether you are family, parents, children, cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever you may be, whatever relationship we have, one of the greatest gifts, if not the greatest gift, actually, that we can give each other, is to create space for each other to not be what we are so used to being stuck as. To help each other understand, I see you. Not as the color of your skin, not as the chromosomes that determine the sex organs on your body, not as your height or your weight, not as the ratio of your chest to your waist to your hips, not as your bank account, but I see you. I see that spirit. I see that soul. I see that heart in you. I see you. And I'm not going to label it. I'm just going to love it. And whatever shape it takes, whatever form it takes, I don't have an attachment to it being a certain way. And that non-attached, space-creating love is probably the greatest gift that you can give each other. So don't substitute one label for another. It's not that you're trying to turn your man into a divine feminine, but you're simply going to create space for a greater fullness of being and fullness of presence for this man you love in your life, and for him to break free from whatever way that he's stuck. And hopefully he'll be able to do the same for you.
If life is so short, why do we do so many things that we don't like? And why do we like so many things that we don't do?
This is perhaps one of the greatest mysteries of life. Why do we do that which we don't want to? Why don't we do that which we want to if life is so short? Why do we waste so much time? There's a beautiful poem, you could say. Not a rhyming poem, but a beautiful poem. And I want to say it's by the Dalai Lama, but I'm not sure. It may have just been attributed to him. But it says something like, the greatest irony of our times today is that we spend all of our health to acquire money. All of our time, all our energy, all our health to acquire money. And then we try to use that money to buy back our health. That we have, taller buildings and fancier buildings and fancier cities. Building bridges across rivers. But not building bridges in the hearts of people. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but the beauty of the poem is this irony. That we know life is short. We know what really matters. And yet we don't live it. And this is where our spiritual practice is so important. This is where mindfulness is so important. Because the reason that we make these mistakes, it's not that we are all purposely self-sabotaging. It's not that we are purposely running in the wrong direction. It's that we just are usually not conscious. We're on autopilot. And our autopilot is programmed not by our highest awareness, not by our highest intention, not by our clearest consciousness. Our autopilot is programmed by our family of origin, by the culture and the society we grew up in, and especially the messages that we got in the early years of our life, by the values that we get in advertising and marketing all day long, that tell us constantly that we are not enough, that our lives are not enough, that we have to buy more, have more fun, look better. And so whether it's about, a new handbag, or whether it's about plastic surgery, whether it's about a vacation at Club Med or a new car, whatever it may be, from weight loss to some brand new career, to everything in between. We spend our lives in this autopilot of just reacting to what? The messages that we get from outside tell us. Oh, do this, it's really fun. And hey, look at these people in the commercial. They are so beautiful. And what's the subconscious message? If you do what they're doing, you also will be beautiful. You also will be happy. If you look at the TV shows that we watch, for example, there's so many cues that we get about how to live life based on, if we do that, then we also will be as happy, as beautiful, as carefree as the people in these sitcoms. And of course, the people in the sitcoms are actors and actresses being paid huge sums of money to just look happy and carefree. Hundreds of thousands of dollars per episode, like half an hour. All you've got to do is, look happy and carefree. Sit at a diner and eat French fries and laugh and giggle, or, in some slapstick comedy, kind of trip over your chair on the way out. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. To look happy, to look carefree, to make us, the viewer, believe that root beer float or that latte or those clothes that they've just bought actually have made them that happy. So we buy into all of this. Now, it's not believable when we sit together in satsang. Everyone always laughs. As we examine it and look at it and be aware of it, as we witness it, we realize it's absurd. But this is the dilemma, because in life we are not usually conscious. We're on autopilot. And our autopilot doesn't have to be convinced. It just moves. It just moves. Without any thought, whatever it's been programmed to do, it just does. Depressed, chocolate cake, or depressed, 6-pack of beer, or depressed, drugs, or depressed, meaningless sex, or depressed, shopping. Whatever we've seen, whatever we've learned, it's what we do. This is where all of our spiritual traditions emphasize consciousness, mindfulness, so that in every minute we can really ask ourselves, is this how I want to be acting? Is this how I want to be speaking? Is this how I want to be spending my time? And this is where also the awareness of death is so powerful. Because every time someone we love dies, or every time we get afraid, oh my God, is that, going to be a cancer diagnosis? Every time someone we know or love gets a diagnosis like that, it reminds us, life is really short. Life is really tenuous. Every moment is so precious. And it brings us back into consciousness. But rather than needing your loved ones to die or needing terminal diagnoses in order to become aware, just meditate. Just bring a practice of mindfulness into your life. It's all simply about breaking free from autopilot. Can you be aware as you walk? Can you be aware of every foot on the ground, heel, then ball of the toe? Can you be aware as you're drinking a glass of water what it feels like on the lips, on the tongue, going down the throat? Not because the drinking of the water matters so much, but because it brings us into awareness. And as we're brought into awareness, we're no longer on autopilot. It's the only answer. If you find that you keep wasting time doing things that are not only not enjoyable, but are not beneficial for you, for the world, the typical kind of numbed out scrolling of a Facebook feed, or the numbed out sitting in front of a TV, or all of these things that we do that neither are actually enjoyable or filling us with some kind of deep invigoration, nor are things that are actually beneficial. Sitting around gossiping. Neither are we actually developing close connections with people in love. Nor are we talking about things that will help us grow, benefit us. Just wasted time. So the more conscious you become, the less you're going to find yourself falling into the trap of autopilot. And that's the importance of living in the conscious mind. So if you haven't started a practice of mindfulness, today is a great day.
I chant Lord Krishna, Ram and Radha's names, but I still wake up in the middle of the night, and that makes me feel angry with them. What's the use in chanting their names if they're not taking care of me?
So when we do japa, chanting names, as the question said, I chant the name of Krishna, of Ram, of Radha. We don't do that because we want something from them. It's not, hey Krishna, hey Ram, Radhe Radhe, I wake up in the night, could you make that not happen? That's bargaining. That's what you do with the guy at the checkout counter at the supermarket. Like, hey, I've got this insomnia thing and I've got $10 in my pocket. If I give you my $10, will you give me something for insomnia? Japa is not a bargain with the guy or the gal in the marketplace. Our prayers are not bargaining tools. And there's been no promise ever in any of the scriptures that says, take my name, worship me, pray to me, and I promise you'll never have insomnia. Promise you'll never wake up in the night. I promise you'll always be taken care of. I promise you'll never get sick. I promise no one you love will die. Japa, spirituality, is not an inoculation against life. It's a connection to the divine. Now, the two things do go together, of course. So, for example, if when I take God's name, I'm not just taking it with my mouth, but I'm really chanting God's name with my heart, and I'm really feeling connected to Bhagwan Krishna, to Bhagwan Ram, to Radhe, then my faith blossoms. Then I know what Radha went through. I know the trials and tribulations that she had to go through when Lord Krishna left. So I'm not looking to her to take away my troubles. I'm looking to her for the embodiment of devotion and love and connection and faith in the midst of troubles. Similarly, Lord Krishna, Lord Ram, look at their lives. Both of them lived lives full of troubles, full of jealous people, misguided people trying to harm them. Bhagwan Krishna in his early youth, Bhagwan Ram as he was about to be coronated king. So, as I pray to them, it's not about, hey, do for me that which you wouldn't do for yourself. Hey, give me a better life than you had when you came down here on earth. That's not what we pray. What we pray is, hey, give me that clarity, that connection, that awareness to know that you are present in difficulties, that you are always with me, which means that anxiety is all in the future. When we live in the past, We suffer anger, we suffer grudges, we suffer depression. When we live in the future, we suffer anxiety. So if I'm waking up with anxiety, it means I'm living in the future. So when I pray in my japa, the prayers are not, hey, take my insomnia. The prayers are, hey, make me so one with you that I know whatever comes, you'll be with me. It may be a full-on Mahabharata war. It may be a full-on war of Lanka or Ramayana, but you'll be with me. Stay with me. Let me always feel you, such that whatever comes in my life, you're always there. That's what'll keep us from waking up in the night. It's not God's assurances that nothing will happen, but it's our ability to live in the present, not the future, with faith. Because of course, as is said so beautifully, if we can take care of the seconds and the minutes of our life, the months and the years will take care of themselves. So if I can, in this moment, be connected, be full of faith, be full of love, then I don't need to be anxious about tomorrow, because I know tomorrow I will also be able to be anchored and connected and grounded and full of love, whatever may come. And next year, I will also be able to be anchored and grounded and connected and full of love. So our spiritual prayers and japa are that which transform my present moment into one of connection with God, one of awareness of the truth, one of knowing that I'm being held in the arms of the divine. And when I have that in the present, well, then I'll have that in the future as well. Because however you live your days is how you live your life. It's not, well, my days are one thing, but my life is something else. It's not, well, yeah, in my days I'm really anxious, but in my life I'm really peaceful. How you live your days is how you live your life. So if I can live every moment connected to God, full of faith, full of love, well, that's how I'll live my years. Which means there's nothing to be anxious about. I'll be able to face it with love, with mindfulness, with awareness, with grounding, with connection. And that is what our japa does. God is not a vending machine to do a round of your mala and then whatever you want, push any button. That connection with God gives us the whole reason we're here. Not just a bargain to sleep through the night or not have the stock market crash on you or get the job you want. So as you do your japa, fill your heart with love and connection and faith. And if you still wake up in the night, it's God saying, do more japa. Do the japa in the middle of the night when you wake up. It's just an opportunity to do more japa. Keep letting it go. Have a beautiful evening, beautiful daytime wherever you are. And we'll see you tomorrow for our beautiful sunset meditations, either back here in the Jopuri if Akash Ganga is still falling from the sky, or back overlooking the sacred waters of Mother Ganga, if we have clear skies. But either way, we'll join tomorrow for the beautiful sunset meditation, and then back for satsang again on Saturday. So much love to you all.
Savitur vare